I'm POISONCURLS, and this is Mega Man 4 for the Game Boy. Um, Very interesting run. A lot of things have changed with this run in the past 6 months or so, and I actually have the world record for this run, so hopefully I won't disappoint. But I have my commentator here, Mannix. He's very well versed in the game, so I'll just let him take it from here, and I'll try to focus on the game. And
Sure. And good luck on your run. And for anybody that's photosensitive, this game has a lot of bright flashing lights, so take any necessary precautions on your end. And what you may have not seen yet is POISONCURLS done a little minute to skip a cutscene here, so it'll save some time and go right into the boss selection.
oh,
Actually,
yeah.
he'll be showing it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Okay.
There you go.
All right,
So
we
basically,
ready?
you've stopped, reset the game. Good. Yeah. Do you want to count yourself down or me?
You can count me down.
Sure. On go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So the first boss that we will fight is Pharaoh, and one of the main reasons for that is his stage isn't really optimized very much by other weapons, and that's the primary reason. And he's not too difficult to cluster only. So some of the things you'll see first is that this is a sliding-based Mega Man and charging, which is in the later classic generations of Mega Man games that was a thing. And we just traversed some scorpions, and now we're gonna transfer into Mummies. But sorry, not the Mummies first, because why not more scorpions? So you'll notice the quicksand does draw poison down to the ground a little bit, but you have plenty of time to react to get out of it. But you could die if you... But here's the Mummies. I'm just gonna slide through our way through here. A couple of these flying enemies are around. You'll see these P-drops. They're called P-chips. They're basically currency in the video game. So Poison will be collecting a fair amount because he's going to need to make a purchase later in the game. Fortunately, most of the speed route will naturally get you what you need, but Poison might pick up a piece or two along the way that are just standing in the level as a safety, but they will regularly drop like that. Coming up is a very difficult section. These rocks sort of shake for a second and they fall. But if you're fast enough, you can basically traverse them before they start falling.
Oh man, I'll take it.
It has happened before.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have to do the Mummies part again, and we'll get there. So the safe part is to let them drop down the one and then move along, and you repeat. But you can do what we call one tile slide, so you can actually perform a slide on a one tile wide piece. You can see it a little bit there on the first one to make these really difficult jumps. It's the safe way to do it. Nothing wrong with that. It's actually one of the hardest techs in the game right away. They just throw that at you when you're still cold. Alright, one last mummy to kill here, and we're already at the Pharaoh boss. So there's quite a bit of RNG to Pharaoh. He can either jump and do a shot, he can jump twice without shooting a shot, or he can charge his Pharaoh shot that you see right here. We ideally want him to be stable because jumping loses time and it's also harder to hit him. Like he was not a nice dude right there. Alright, just like that we're done the level, and like it is tradition in many Mega Man games, you want to try to finish in the center of the boss room as much as you can. Otherwise, Mega Man will do a slow walk to the center before the exit happens. I just want to shout out how great this game looks. Like, sometimes I forget that this is a Game Boy game. Like, it looks absolutely great.
Yeah, the music is really good too.
Hey, did you ever note the password? It's something like... This game is not nice in the beginning. Ringman is the second stage, but it's also a very difficult one. It's basically a vertical ascent, most of it, and your health is extremely important in this stage, because we'll be doing some very heavy damage boost if we can, and there's also a little neat trick that will come through a little later that maybe we'll see happen. So these cannons sort of aim at you, but you can kill them before they start becoming dangerous. And these little platforms sort of open either away from you or towards you, depending on the color.
Oh my gosh, come on, man.
Yeah, so tile sliding is relatively easy in this game. There's no like lock into it, which is one of the things I enjoy about this game. You can jump out of your slide whenever you want. And you can also slide cancel by pressing up, which is something unique to the Game Boy games, to my knowledge, which I think is a fantastic feature. We're just seeing this again here. So deaths in this game are actually pretty punishing. They either reset you back really far, or unfortunately this will be the game over, so we'll have to restart Ring, but no problem there. Just getting warmed up.
Just getting warmed up, that's right.
Yeah. It's one thing that you can notice here if you've played other Game Boy games as well is they are extremely difficult. A lot of stuff either do too much damage to you or because a Game Boy screen is relatively smaller, everything sort of comes at you immediately, so you have to know what's coming before it's coming, for lack of a better term. Yeah, Poison put a lot of work into this game, and I'm really proud of where this game has gone, so we'll see a lot of that here. Okay, now you made it. There we go. Alright, so there's going to be funny thing enough is some of these screens look the same. It's because for memory purposes, they have recopied a lot of the same scenes. They just changed like an enemy or two. Let's see if we see the difficult slide here.
Oh, I got it.
You got it. The run is valid. You could have died 10 times.
Oh no, God.
I'm gonna stop saying die.
Hey, I got it though. That's a 2-frame window to jump out of there.
So when you slide out of a little gap, like a slide-only gap, there's 2 frames where Mega Man is actually standing and you have a chance to jump out. And that's what you saw there. It looked like he was gonna fall, but jumped. That was once thought, that particular jump in that segment was once thought only possible by the task, but now Poison has figured out a lot of RTA possibilities in many of these strats. So now we switch to Pharaoh. So if you've played Mega Man 4 on the NES, the weapon is very similar. You can charge it above your head and you can shoot it in 6 directions. It's actually a real estate weapon in this game, so ammo will be important. There we go.
Nice.
And so usually you have exact ammo to do the optimal strats here, so a small drop usually is welcome. But now you can sort of charge his way through everything and not worry about anything.
Nice. Well, that was rough, but we made it. So.
Yeah. So you notice he did a small double back to grab the P chip there just for safety. Alright, so Ring is scripted, but he is precise as well, so you want to dodge his rings timely and throw some charges. There we go, nicely done. He sort of runs at you and then he does this jump and ring shot pattern. This game's first 4 robots are some of the most difficult sets of 4 in a Mega Man game, but you get a little break here. We're gonna head to Toadman now that we have the ring weapon, sorry. So the particular thing about the ring weapon is it can grab items, and we'll use that a few times during the run. Alright, Toadman. So if you're accustomed to Toadman stages, usually it's sort of the break stage, and this is true in here, but there's a few difficult things. One, there's a lot of RNG drops and stuff that will create some lag that Poison can't really do anything about. But there's a particular snail that you can We used to damage boost through it by hitting its eyes and jumping over it and just avoiding it completely. But with a lot of practice and reps, Poison has figured out a way to do the snail without taking damage, but it's near impossible. We'll see if he gets it. It's on this next screen. Go.
Oh, that was pretty close.
Yeah. So normally you can jump like on his tip of his foot there and make it over the eye without taking damage. It saves about a second, but it's really cool if you get it. There we go. That's a really dangerous pit there, where there was a waterfall. If you slide without stopping a little bit, you'll actually fall directly into an invisible pit. The game loves to put pits in really convenient places. Same here in the water. If you pick up a drop from this guy right here, he can nail you right into that little two-tile spike. Tip an E-tank there in the crevice. So the E-tank is safety. It is possible to go without it, but it's like half a second to pick it up, so you might as well. Alright, and just like that, we're into the toad fight. We're gonna use a combination of weapons here, so we're gonna just charge a Pharaoh shot, throw it in, intentionally get damaged by the ring, switch to ring, and ring will do 2 hits, 2 damage per pop, but it's quite fast and is Toad's weakness. And there we go. Toad is done. So that went a lot better.
Yeah. Picking up pace now, getting more comfortable. So.
Can we shout out this weapon get screen? Pretty awesome work. Other than, you know, blinding you completely.
Yeah.
Now we have the brain flush, which we'll use a few times, but it does generate a lot of lag, so we'll keep the use of it pretty limited. Alright, we're on our first 4 robos, and this is Brightman. So the gimmick of Brightman's stage is there's going to be a lot of mechanics that either turns the lights on or off. The first one is killing the flying enemy with the bulb there, that turns off the light, and killing that little one with the firework turns him back on. That's one way. And the other way that you're about to see is there's going to be some little switches with some invisible platforms, but you can only walk on the platforms if you turn on the switch, which turns off the lights. And here they come. So this segment can be pretty dangerous. There's a lot of lag, and you want to try to slide. Okay. And what you're going to see here is something really cool. It's called the Coil spike jumps. So normally you have to take this little slow platform and traverse the entire pit here, and it takes quite a bit. But we've determined that if you jump with Rush, switch to a weapon in midair, switch back to Rush, and cast him again, you can despawn him and cast him again, and sort of use this mechanic to traverse spikes. And you're going to take one last damage boost here.
Nice.
And make it through the pit. Perfect, great. I think that's one of the coolest Game Boy tricks of the series, so the fact that you got it first try was awesome. And it's about 1.5 minutes time loss if you miss it.
Yeah, only.
Only that. We're going to switch to ring. So the ring weapon does a fair amount of damage. It one-shots a lot of most small enemies. It's very quick. It has a wide head box. And it's really good for these particular gumball machines, whatever their real name is. Right. You probably hated these casually in Mega Man 4 NES, these little swinging platforms. They're not too bad in this, but we will try to negate lag by grabbing that E letter, which it's not actually needed. It's a little tough jump right here.
Yes.
Alright, we're in the last segment. I'm going to ride one little platform, and we're headed to the Bright stage. Now there's a couple ways to fight Bright. One way is using the Pharaoh weapon, but there's a lot of RNG and you might get frozen and actually lose time. Another is basically using the Toad weapon.
Yeah, I'll just use Toad.
Yeah. So you want to hit him once with your ring, just so that it's faster to hit him with one ring than use an extra Toad, basically.
Yeah.
And this boss has one very nasty secret weapon in that if you're in his hitbox when he's doing his flash, he can one-shot you no matter how many health you have.
Yeah. It surprised me the first time it happened. It's like I have full health, and it's just like, you're dead.
Alright, and just like that, we're done with the first 4 robos. As it's tradition with the Game Boy series of classic Mega Man is, you have 4 robots of the current Mega Man that you're playing, in this case Mega Man 4. And now we're headed into the second half, which will be Mega Man 5 from the NES robos. And while we watch this really cool cutscene, which will take about a minute and a half total, I'll talk about that a little bit more. So we used to do our route that went Crystal first, but Poison found a way to go with Charge first, which unlocks having Rushjet way earlier than we normally would, and it completely changes the Napalm stage notably, but we'll talk about more of that. But first, this cutscene, I think, sort of shows off like how good like the Game Boy hardware was still capable of doing stuff. Like, I find this pretty impressive for Game Boy, like all the different layers. And this game has a few cutscenes like that that are fun to watch. Does everybody love RNG? I love RNG. This is Satellite. The only way you can hurt him is when this little item in front will open. We're hoping that it opens immediately here, and we're going to try to kill it in one cycle. Here we go.
Nice.
Great. So the gimmick of that boss is he shoots that little projectile, and while that projectile is still alive and on screen, the eye will remain open. But if you bust the projectile, he closes immediately. And then you lose at least 8 seconds, and you have to wait if he's going to open up again or not. And so what Poison there was just avoid the projectile altogether and then mash down the boss. Next, we're gonna, for the Dragon Ball fans, we're gonna fight Imperfect Cell. I just find he looks like him, but this is a Ballad or Belade.
Yeah, he really does.
So the trick here is just to stay on the leftmost wall and do these charge shots. You just have to watch when you're shooting them, because you can hear the jumper give you some bombs. Like that. If you fight him around the arena, he can run around and do some stuff, and it's just annoying, so... There we go. Get your choo-choos on, we're going to Charge Man. So as I said, this is the first Mega Man 5 NES boss. There's gonna be a set of 4. So this stage can be entirely done with Buster. And we actually do not have a weakness for Charge Man in this fight, so we're literally gonna use only the Buster.
Oh, yeah.
Our friends the chicken show up. Yeah. So the gimmick of this stage is there's a lot of enemies that do a lot of damage, like that chicken, but also these nasty 3-tile jumps. Those are not casually fun. Like, even if you tiptoe those jumps, it's really tight. You'd probably want to use Rush Coil if you're doing it casually for the first time. This screen can be pretty neat. It's really fun to do.
Shit.
Everything sort of lines up if you land all your shots correctly. We're a little low on health here, but we're still alive. That's what's important. There's another nasty one with a rat jumping over. Good job.
Ooh.
That's a really tight window to land that shot before the rat hits you.
Dude,
so here's the other gimmick. Yeah. So there's 4 letters in these back 4 robots that spell Wily, and you need them to go to the Wily stage later on. If you actually try to go to Wily later on without them, Mega Man actually just turns around and leaves. So you have to go back into the stages and get the letters, but we won't be doing that because that would be speedrun slow. Alright, here's Charge Man. He's got 2 patterns. He can either just walk around or do this charge and his choo-choo, there we go, where you can't do anything to him, it's just a waste of time. So obviously we want the walk.
Nice.
That was a nice pattern. Just one invincibility pattern on Buster only fight is pretty nice.
Alright, now Crystal. Scariest.
Yeah, Crystal is the longest, one of the scariest stages, and the deaths are also extremely punishing. And one more thing we haven't talked about is ammo refill from this point on doesn't happen between stages, so ammo conservation is also really important. And here we have Rushjet, so as I explained, charge gives you Rushjet in this game, so that's why we do Rushjet first, which Poison will show off some neat Rushjet stuff later. And shoutouts to the music. It is a shoutouts to the originals, but I thought they did a really good job. Here's some neat Rush Coil Strats, which, as far as I know, maybe I found out or I developed, but yeah, we used to walk up these ladders. It was slow, but you can use Coil to jump up those ladders. So one thing we've shown here also is you can charge between screens when there's a screen transition. I can't say that word. So it's really important to like there, so you can hit the guy as soon as you get to the screen. And this, what is it? A mop enemy?
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Floor cleaner, Zamboni.
Yeah, the Zamboni, I like that. Here's the neat letter grab. Normally you have to get it from the other side, but with the weapon grab of the ring, we can get it, and we'll do it again right here and get this refill. And we'll switch to Pharaoh. And the Pharaoh, like we said earlier, is a really important weapon, so we want to make sure we have it for when we need it. This is a new strat developed by Poison. Normally you have to go up there and let the rock fall down and get through, but you found that neat strat there. Nothing you're seeing right now is easy. This is...
That's okay.
I'm done saying easy dying. Fortunately, that's probably one of the best deaths that he could have taken in this stage.
Oh, no, I'm just gonna go this way. I can't use much more,
Yeah. As we say, everything's calculated, and he actually needs to go that top route, or else it's gonna be really long.
Oh my gosh, menus.
There we go. There's these little crystal drops here. You can safely wait for it. It is possible to beat it, but everything has to go right. And here's a pretty annoying... These skull enemies, I forget their full names, but crystal skull guys, they do a ton of damage. But used to damage boost through them 3 times and only have 1 health, but now we have Rushjet, and now Poison can jet through them. Here's these little, like, totter platforms, I guess. They just sort of swing back and forth when you land on them. They're pretty scary to do optimally. You can actually slide on those, but it's just not safe at all. We're getting to the tail end of the stage here. Here's another thing that Rushjet has unlocked. Normally you have to wait for these little pillars, and you gotta wait for another one that comes up really slowly here, but now you can jet and just get through it. That was developed by Poison as well. Yeah. Since Poison picked up this game, a lot of new strats have been found, and the record has been dropped down by 15 seconds, and in a Mega Man game, 15 seconds is a whole lot.
There's still more time, though, I think.
Oh yeah, there's always a little bit, right? Whoever wants to go after it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Crystal Man, so he generates a lot of lag with his little projectiles, so what Poison's going to do is take one hit intentionally and sort of absorb a couple of the other ones. He just got one there. Oh!
Okay.
There we go.
It's like one small mistake and you're dead. It's It's like this
It's
whole
only
game.
one death of about 15-20 seconds. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. Alright, we made it.
So now we're going back to the original route, meaning he's going to Stone, which is the next stage up. Oh wait, sorry, you're going to Napalm first.
Oh, yeah, Napalm. The crazy Rushjet stuff.
It's also the favorite song in the game for me. The best replica, I would say. There's these tigers that show up, they do a whole lot of damage, so we want to get rid of them. But what you're going to see here is what was originally known only as Task Possible. I'm going to let you focus. Normally you have to ride these platforms, but you can basically use Jet to get through this really fast.
I
That
knew
is
it,
not
man.
an easy jump.
I knew it.
You have to go for it too, it just looks so cool.
Yeah.
That's about a 20-second time save almost doing all of that. It doesn't seem like much, but that little platform goes so slow across. Going for it again, huh?
I don't have any rush coil though. Let's see, what can I do here?
Might have been a bad idea. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I need
improvise.
Right. I'll just wait for this one.
So this is the intended route. It's actually even possible to go below there, but that's extremely dangerous and inconsistent.
Yeah, I was thinking about going for it, but I'll just save time.
And what the jet also allows us to do is traverse some pits that we'll see really soon. Normally you'd have to use the bright stopper and wait for some pit stuff that's really annoying, but now we can use Rushjet to our advantage and do this really dangerous damage boost. He got it. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah, this stage is the one that changed the most from the route change. It used to be completely differently routed, and you can just go up here now instead of going all the way around, and we get the letter I. Awesome, good stuff. So now we're going to switch to Crystal Ball, which is the weakness for Napalm. There's just a couple more things to go through. That one is impossible to dodge. And what we can do here also is we have to wait here. Unfortunately, there's no possible way to skip this long one. Gotta break the path for us. So ideally we want all the big shots to hit Napalm here, otherwise if they hit against the wall they'll sort of divide into smaller shots and generate a lot of lag.
Oh no. Well, there you go.
Like that. That could have been worse because he absorbed all of them.
Yeah. Lucky.
Alright. Cruising through the game now. Now we're going to Stone, which is probably my favorite stage to speedrun in the game. I think it has a lot of like edge of your seat jumps and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now we're playing Dr. Mario, we got explosive pills. I'm playing actually napalm clusters, which are pretty powerful. We do use it quite a bit from here on out in certain segments. And Happy Stone with the biggest smile. Alright, so a few things here. Our friends the Mets are back. We have some bats. And we have these little enemies that sort of get smaller when you get close to them, but we just want to kill them really fast. And one thing about the Mets is when you kill them, they divide into little 3 tiny Mets. Our friends the Hippos are back, which you may have seen in Mega Man 4 in the Ringman stage, notably, on the NES. we'll use a combination of Ring and Pharaoh to take him out really fast. Here's a difficult jump under the bat. Good job. Not an easy jump. And
yeah, it's tight.
a lot of these things don't really save that much time. It's just really cool to go for.
Yeah, like this, like instead of jumping over that hole, you can just slide off the side of the ladder.
Yeah, so one thing in Mega Man 3, 4, and 5 of the Game Boys, you can actually slide off a ladder. You basically walk on it for the first few frames that you get off of it, so you can actually pull a slide. But if you don't, then you're pressing down the slide and you're going down, and then you just look dumb. There's one more difficult jump, sort of like that bad jump. I think it's easier than the first one.
I'm just gonna damage boost it.
Deboost it. They do result in deaths if you miss them, so they're not, especially right here, right at the end of the level.
I've missed that ladder in practice, so I'm like, I'm just gonna go in there and get it instead of using Ring. So,
yeah. Alright, so we're hoping for all low jumps here, because the high jump snowman will sort of crumble. We're doing the napalm dance here, so we're basically just shooting, letting him jump over us, and you sort of do this back and forth dance. So we got one high jump there. It's possible to get only low jumps.
nice, save 3 seconds.
We haven't seen Wily yet. I mean, is it possible to have a Mega Man game without Wily?
Yeah, no,
Really?
where's he at?
I don't know, he must still be in Mega Man 3 or something.
Yeah.
Now we get the Power Stone. Alright, so here's the Y letters we talked about, so you can't get in here without them. And there's a very small stage here, nothing too difficult, and we're gonna face Perfect Cell, the second version of Ballade, or Ballad, sorry. I'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, I don't know which one it is.
And the fun part is now he has really cool shades and some ears. That's why he's perfect. And the fight is exactly the same, basically. He's a little different, like he has these bigger cluster bombs, but our strategy is the same. The only difference is he does actually die, so you want to be to the middle for your teleport.
Yeah. There is a stone weapon strat for him, like to intentionally take damage and then get inside of his hitbox and use stone over and over. But I always screw it up because if you miss, it stays on the screen for a long time. So
yeah, exactly. It's a high risk, low reward kind of strat.
yeah.
Now this is the strongest weapon of the game, and by far, this is the Ballad Cracker. So you can shoot it in 8 directions. It has a ton of ammo and explodes in a large radius. And we'll be seeing it a little bit here. This is called the escape, so there's sort of an escape sequence as the stage is exploding behind you. As you can see, these bombs, they do a lot of damage. One gimmick about them, though, is they do generate a lot of lag, but they're just so good that we still use them anyway. So here we're trying to go really fast by destroying a very specific set of blocks. It is possible to like lock yourself out, but with Rushjet you can get out. That was a decent escape. I know by the music, if the music doesn't loop to the intense part, you did pretty well.
Oh, really?
There we go. The Wily ship is exploding. The game's over, right? I think so.
I wish.
Wily's favorite video game console is the Wii U, because if you can hear it, he goes, Wii U, Wii U.
That's a good one. Never heard that.
So Wily was just magically hiding in the stars, this giant space station ship. Alright, so we talked about the P-chips early in the run in the first stage, actually. This is where it's important. So we're going to buy a full weapon refill, which costs 80. And if Poison wants to, he could spend more. I don't know if he will, but he's got a little bit extra for gravy.
I get a weapon tank.
Yep, the weapon tank refills weapons. So he has a neat Pharaoh strat that he developed himself for the final end of the stage. So the weapon tank will make sure that he has enough Pharaoh, no matter what.
Exactly.
Go.
Let's
And
go
now we're headed
rush.
to Wily Station. There's two phases of it. The first part of it is you're basically on top of the ship. And this stage is scripted in the sense that these weapons come out at a precise time, so as long as you do the same sliding patterns, you're fine. This boss can be normally hard, but if you just jump on the cannon, you can just shoot him in the face. As intended. Yeah, you need to chain your slides really good to avoid that hit. And one thing we didn't talk about too much, because there's not a lot of it, is mashing. This game is not about shooting as fast as you can. It's actually more important to get the right rhythm. And I think that's one of the cool things about the Game Boy games, is it's more about precision and timing than like pure muscles. There we go. This is the Wily Station boss. We're hoping for non-laggy pattern like that one. That's really good. Let's see what we get now.
Nice.
Alright, perfect. So that's the fastest pattern. He can sometimes shoot a napalm, or he can use the stone weapon, which is just really, really slow. Really neat strat here with the bright. There's a lot of missiles here that come out. It's actually possible to slide on these pillars, but it's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
Right.
The checkpoint's right there, though, so
yeah.
be okay.
So you'll be seeing the power of the Ballad Cracker very much here, and we're also going to see quite a bit of Rushjet use, which is actually required in this portion of the game.
And weapon swapping in this stage. It's like 100 of them.
This is my favorite weapon grab. Well, we know why we got the weapon tank. Yeah, you can actually, if you switch weapons while the projectile is coming to you, you can basically refill the weapon you switch to. Gonna bright stop here.
No!
Wow. That jump is hard, and it's not because of just the distance of the jump, but there's just so much lag generation that changes the pace of that little segment. As you can see, these annoying enemies come out of every pit here if you don't freeze the screen. Yeah, Brad is another weapon that is used quite a bit in this stage. Fortunately, we have plenty of cracker ammo.
Cracker.
More than we need. So it one-shots pretty much every minor enemy as far as I know. And it's quite a useful in the end game as well. Okay, let's see. Here we go again.
Yay!
Yay. So this is our first mini-boss, the mini-boss. He's weak to Pharaoh, so what Poison will do here is hit the main eye and do these precise shots to get rid of the small ones that would generate lag, the fake ones.
Oh man, it's okay.
Here's the difficult copter jump, so you can actually jump underneath this helicopter. Oh, good job. That's a scary one.
Yeah.
That's a feel-good one, though.
Yeah.
We have just enough rush ammo to get through this final segment. That's the last of it that we'll need. Oh, sorry, you do need a tiny bit here. So here is a lot of weapon switching between Rush and the Cracker. If you have the charge kick here, which we do. You can get all that stuff at the bottom. But we don't need that. Now this one is weak to the napalm cluster. We'll hit it a few times and then we'll throw one bomb to the top left, and we'll conveniently hit both at the same time for double damage. There we go. We got one last segment here before the refights. These pillars have stuff coming out of it, and these tigers, but we had just enough bright to get rid of them. One last bright here. Here we go. We're into the refights.
Okay.
So we primarily do the refights from top left to counterclockwise, and except the last couple capsules. So a lot of fights will be the same. In this case, we go straight to ring, though we don't do the damage boost or anything. Next will be Pharaoh, right? I can't forget. I always
Right.
forget.
Yeah.
Here we go. So we talked about Pharaoh being important. It is pretty low right now, so we'll be needing all of that soon. So we'll fight right with the intended weakness, which is the Toad Rain, or the Rain Flush. No problem there. So to get out of the refights, you have to grab the large health every time. So the more health you have, the shorter the exit will be. Here's our friend Pharaoh, which will also do bust strongly. The difference this time is it's a lot easier because the terrain is completely flat, which is 2 Mega Man's advantage. Everything is very predictable.
Okay.
Changes that fight so much with the flatland.
Yeah.
I'm be using the W tank here, which is Ring's weakness. He's a very much of a pain without his weakness to deal with, so we'll use a couple Pharaoh shots on him. There we go.
And I'm glad I got that W tank.
Yeah, it's marathon strats.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just realized I've never used one before.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I do this?
There we go. So this fight, other than the Pharaoh shot, is the same. Normally we use the Buster shot, but since we're already on the Pharaoh weapon, the first one is shot onto Crystal. Now we're gonna see the use of stone for the first time. In this route, we didn't have it for Chargeman the first time. So we're hoping for a walking pattern here once he charges across. And there we go. Another one if possible.
Okay.
Perfect. Great RNG. He does quite a bit of damage. He does like 5 or 6 damage with body damage, which on Game Boy 5 is a lot. As you can see, you have much less amounts of health than a NES game would give you. This fight is exactly the same. We're hoping for low jumps. 2 one-jumper fights. Alright, and we end up with Crystal weapon to kill Napalm, and the fight is also the same here. Good job.
Okay.
Alright, we're headed to the final segment of the game. There's some refills here. We're going to refill Crystal, we're going to refill Pharaoh, and he's going to refill Rush Coil, but he's got plenty of it. I'm going to explain the 3 phases of Wily before Poison needs audio cues.
Yeah.
So the first phase, we're going to fight his chest, and he's going to have a crystal that he has to hit on it. So using a combination of crystal weapon and jet, and a coil, sorry, he's going to hit that core, and he's going to hope for good hands RNG, and also debris that might fall. The second phase will be his head, which he'll basically open up and suck some air in, and we have to damage boost into his mouth and try to one-cycle him with a bunch of crackers. And the last phase, which is something that Poison came up with, is normally you would fight him with the cracker as well. That was close. Oof. So we want to intentionally wait the fist to come out of the screen here. And the second phase is coming up, but the third phase will be his Wily capsule, which he'll do a fight using the Pharaoh shot, which is extremely precise and actually uses music cues. So I'm gonna be quiet from this point on, and time will be when this, not this phase, but the one after is done.
Nice. Nice.
Alright, here we go with the audio cues for the final phase.
Oh no, dude. Shh.
Okay.
Wow.
Fortunately, it didn't
bruh.
work, so now Wily's going to sort of go to a new screen. We're going to resort to the old strats, my strats, which is using the blade cracker, which does show off still how very powerful this weapon is.
Oh, I thought that was the last shot. Dang, man.
One more.
Dude, really? Oh, I can't shoot it? Oh, I didn't have
go.
any. Okay, there
There's
we
time.
go.
Alright,
Alright.
GG.
Yo, we did it.
Everything went as intended. And your usual Pharaoh victory dance.
Yeah.
And like it is custom in every Mega Man game, Wily pleads for the innocence and Mega Man lets him go. GG Poison.
Yo, thank you. It's been
How do you feel?
that was fun. Man, I just screwed up a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it shows how punishing this game is. I mean,
Yeah.
before you got the record, you put like 4,000 attempts into the game and like 8 hours a day streams. So
Yeah,
like,
man, I was hitting this game hard, and it's a super fun game. All of these Game Boy Mega Man games are like totally underrated. They're super fun, and most of them are really like high quality, like gameplay and music and everything. So I'd really like to see a lot more people get into them. It's really fun.
do you have any shoutouts, Poison?
Yo, shout outs to you, Mannix, and Tremaine. He's done a lot of work with all of the Game Boy games. He's done all the task work and everything for it. But yeah, shout outs to SGL. Much love to everybody, and hope you guys have a great day. Appreciate it.